Okay.
Okay. Hi, my name is Anna Ewing. I'm the 8th grade Staley Middle School cheer coach. So just to kind of go over a few things, we have 2 packets I'm going to need you to pick up. Okay, so the first packet is titled Cheerleader Tryout Packet, and you can see it just lists off like the things that the cheerleaders have to do. We have spring tryouts, summer. We have 2 summer camps that are mandatory. This is listed throughout the entire packet because it's very important. If you don't go to those, mandatory camps, then you cannot be a cheerleader. So the first one's July 14th through the 16th, and that's at Staley, and then the other one is the NCA camp, and that's July 21st through the 23rd. So if you can't go to those, then you cannot be a cheerleader. Alright, so just to keep going through it, if you go to the next page, we did have a typo in this. It says turn in all work to Coach Huff, 7th grade, and Coach Eubank, 8th grade, February 28th. It's actually due March 6th by 4 p.m. So the Friday that we get out for spring break, that is when it's due. There will be no exceptions for late work, so if you don't turn it in, you don't turn it in. If you have any questions, here's our emails. So tryout information, so for the cheer clinics in mock tryout, girls can just wear sports clothes, so just Nike shorts and a t-shirt and then tennis shoes, or just shorts, not even Nike shorts, whatever shorts you have. You do have to go to the clinics in order to...
You're good.
Okay. You do have to go to the clinics in order to know the dance, learn the cheer, and learn the chant. No jewelry, no bows, nothing big like that. So, go on to our next page, you can see all the tryout information. So here is the tryout, just kind of like schedule. So Wednesday the 12th is the mandatory parent meeting. You might have missed that, that's okay, that's why you're watching the video to get all this information. Friday the 28th, it's not the 28th, it's March 6th, that is when paperwork is due by 4 o'clock. Monday and Tuesday, March 16th through the 17th, that's when we have our cheer camps. Okay, we'll talk about those in just a moment. And then tryouts will be Saturday, March 21st at 10 a.m. at Lone Star High School. They're not going to be at Staley, they're on Saturday at Lone Star. Okay, so if you look at this, I'm going to skip the trial procedure because we're going to go through that while we are watching our PowerPoint. Just to go through this packet, it says Monday, March 16th from 4:30 to 4:45. This is when the girls have their cheer clinics. It's very crucial to girls. You can't try out unless you go to the cheer clinic. So you do have to come to that. It's mandatory. So Monday, March 16th from 4:30 is when it starts. And we do it at 4:30 just because we have a lot of 7th graders that are trying out, and track practice gets out at 4:30. So we want them to be able to come to track and also do cheer. So from 4:30 to 4:45, girls will change into their practice clothes, eat a snack, stretch, and then get a reminder sheet about tryouts. From 4:45 to 5:35, girls will learn their chant and cheer. And then from 5:35 to 6:20, girls will learn their dance and then learn their tryout dance. Their tryout dance. I will also be posting all the dances, the cheers and chants. Go away, I have to do a video. Oh. I got candy.
Talking to no one?
It's a video that I have to do.
Where's the camera?
It's right there.
Oh, I thought you were talking to no one.
Oh. Very sweet. Always interruptions. So I will be, like I said, I will be posting the cheer, the chant, and the dance all on our Staley Middle School cheer website. The Friday that we get out for spring break. Okay. So the Friday we get out for spring break, that's when I'll be posting all the cheer, the chant, and the dance all on the Staley Middle School cheer website. You can find that by just Googling Staley Middle School, and if you go through the Staley Middle School homepage, you can find it through that as well. Okay, so March 17th, that's when we do our mock tryouts. So girls will come in at 4:30, change, get ready to go by 4:45 to 5:05. We'll put the girls into their tryout groups. So what you do, you just draw numbers. It's not like based on skill level or anything like that, it's just random. So you'll draw numbers, and that'll be your tryout number. And so girls will go in sets of 3s to try out together. So we'll do the same thing at mock tryouts as well. From 6:20 to 6:30, we will go over what's going to happen on Saturday, so for the actual cheer tryout day. At 6:30 sharp is when the girls need to be picked up. Okay. So moving on to our next packet, which is extra fun. We have our Staley Middle School cheerleader checklist is what it starts off with. I made this for y'all just so it's a lot easier for you to go through and make sure that you've done absolutely everything that you have to. The important part is that you sign every single document in this, otherwise you cannot try out for cheer. If there's like one signature that's left unsigned, then you unfortunately will not be able to try out, and I will have to call you to pick your girls up. So, candidate name, obviously, you just go through this list. There's a new box down here that we added. It says if you student receives accommodations during the school day that you feel might be or might need to be provided during the cheerleading tryout process, please check this box. So essentially, if you have any accommodations that you feel like you have to have in order to try out for cheer, you just check that box. My child has permission to try out for state and middle school cheer. Go to the next page, our addendum. Our addendum is pretty much our cheer code of conduct. It has all the things you can get demerits for. Demerits are our system of kind of like your strikes, like things you get in trouble for, but you can also get merits to get those off. So just different things like that. It talks about basketball games and football games. You have to be there at least 20 minutes before each game. All that kind of stuff. Keep going. And then once again, it talks about our Mustang Cheer Camp. Our Mustang Cheer Camp is held at Staley Middle School. It's Tuesday, July 14th through the 16th from 8 to 12. And then the next week is our mandatory NCA camp, which is July 21st through the 23rd at Trent Middle School, so you have to be able to attend both of those. At the Mustang Cheer Camp, we'll learn all of our Staley cheers and dances and chants, and we'll do our stunt groups, and then NCA camp is when we kind of better those skills. After that, it talks about the things you can get demerits for. We'll go over that some more in the PowerPoint as well. Same thing, it gives you our emails once again. Okay, so this is just the cheerleader's pledge. Every Frisco SD, anyone that's trying out to be a cheerleader has to fill this out. Here's the medical release form. Everyone has to sign the medical release form. You do not have to have a doctor's signature for this. You just fill it out on your own. We have physicals and everything like that. The parental release form, that it's okay for your kid to try out for cheer. The inherent risk form, that you're not going to sue me if your child gets injured during tryouts. Tryout workshop authorization and liability, same thing, you're not going to sue me. This is that your child acknowledges the discipline system. This is really important because this tells us that your daughter knows the rules and that if they break the rules, they understand like the consequences for them. Staley Cheer social media contract. We all know that the kids are really into TikTok and Snapchat and things like that. So this just kind of makes sure that we all are aware that we're allowed to post things, but they can't be offensive to anyone and they can't be inappropriate. Cheerleading and mascot acknowledgement form. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and get to our PowerPoint. Coach Huff, if you want to go to click for me, that'd be awesome.
I thought I was just moral support.
All right, so let's click the PowerPoint. Can't wait to watch this video. Okay, so what is a cheerleader? A cheerleader is a leader, reputation, behavior, academics. They foster school spirit and pride. They work within a team to reach goals and manage close relationships. And they place a high priority on safety. Cheerleaders, I always tell my girls, the main thing in cheerleaders is the word lead. Like you're a leader first. You're a leader in the school, you're a leader on the field, people look up to you. So we try to embody that. Okay, so what should you have? You should have your Frisco ISD Code of Conduct, the addendum, information packet, cheerleader checklist forms, and social media contract. You have all that. It is due by 4 p.m. March 6th.
Did you make sure we make the date correction on that?
Hmm?
Did you make sure we make the date?
Yeah. So, to maintain academics, all Staley cheerleaders must maintain an average of 70 or above in all classes on all report cards. According to UIL rules, failures result in sitting out of all events and performances, but you still have to attend. So you have to sit next to us while the other girls cheer. Until the suspension of the progress report following the failing report card. I think I said that wrong. So still participating in all practices, attending tutorials to bring up your grade. We usually try to catch it around 75. We are pretty good at maintaining our cheerleaders' grades. So once a grade starts to fall around 75, we pretty much make the girls go to mandatory tutorials. Thank you. So you have to attend all practices unless there's an illness or special circumstance. things like that. As long as you tell us kind of the night before what's going on, then we're okay. So during football season, you'll have 2 practices a week. 7th grade usually have cheers practices on Tuesday and Thursday at 6:45 a.m. And 8th grade practices Monday and Thursday at 6:45 a.m. Both of these are subject to change just depending on our football schedule this year. Go back. Wasn't ready. Alright, so
Okay.
basketball season has 1 practice per week. 7th grade is Tuesday at 6:45, subject to change as well. And 8th grade is Tuesday at 6:45 a.m. as well. Okay? So practicing pep rallies, we'll go back to 2 practices a week, just because we're learning new dances and things like that. And there's also always a chance that we might have to have an extra practice just in case. I can give an example. When my girls didn't to meet my expectation the way they're supposed to cheer and the way they're supposed to dance at a game, I made them come in the next Monday and we had a practice and we just ran the whole time. So just little things like that. Alright. Expectations. To attend all games and events in their entirety. So football season, we have 1 game per week. Most games are held at the Frisco High School like football fields. I think all of ours are being held at Frisco High School. Basketball, usually we have 1 game per week, but that's subject to change too. This year we kind of had a wacky basketball season, so it just kind of depends. I'm usually pretty good about handing out the calendar a month and a half before season even starts. So as soon as I get a calendar out, I receive the calendar, I'll make the cheer calendar. The only expectation for this rule is if you have a daily middle school event. If you're in select cheer or select basketball, select football, select volleyball, I guess you want to be in football, select softball, things like that, then you would not be excused from any events. The only events that you could get excused for are Staley's events. So if you're in volleyball, basketball, Staley things, then you're okay. It is always possible that other events will come up and we will communicate those as soon as possible. We're really good with talking to Coach Charles and like making sure that everything that we're doing kind of flows with him. Okay. So represent Staley and Frisco IC positively at all times. And uniforms or not, cheerleaders are expected to set good examples in and out of school as they represent our squad, school, and district at all times. So to show good sportsmanship at all school-related events as well. So attendance, cheerleaders attend school the day of the performance event in order to participate. It also says this includes tryout date. We have tryouts on a Saturday, so don't come to school on Saturday. You're going to be trying out at Lone Star High School at 10 a.m. Sorry, I'm out of breath. So you're going to arrange for reliable transportation to and from all required events. Physically check out with the sponsor before leaving. That's important to us, just to make sure that you have a safe ride home and you're not going home with like some random person your mom doesn't want you to go home with. Arriving late to practices or events will result in demerits for the cheerleader. So if you show up late and you don't tell us beforehand, I understand there's circumstances like when you're about to leave the house and your dog runs away and like you have to go chase him down. I get that. As long as you communicate with us beforehand, we're pretty good about being flexible with that. But habitual late pickups and results will be habitual late pickups or just being late in general will result in disciplinary actions for the cheerleader. So demerits are a disciplinary system for cheerleaders. Reasons for demerits are in the Staley Cheerleading Addendum. This list does not include all possible reasons. So things that you can automatically dismiss from, which means you have no refund on the cheer deposit that you put down, was not attending NCA camp. If you miss that at all, then you will not be a Staley cheerleader. Being assigned to SOC, so right next door, or going to juvie, or 3 unexcused absences. I feel like we really need to make juvie the last one.
Like this light grade after juvie?
Yeah. So the chain of command, I have our emails written down on both packets multiple times, so if you ever need to contact us, our emails are there in your packets, both packets. If you want to contact us, you can contact me and Coach Huff. And then if we can't respond or if we can't help you, then you can go to Miss Leal. She's the principal that's over cheer, and then Miss Robinson after that. So we encourage all students to be involved as much as they can. Girls can play volleyball, or girls that play volleyball are released from practice a little bit early on football on game days, just so they can make it to the game. And if they're ever like a little bit late, we don't get super mad or anything about that because we understand they were at volleyball. Girls that play basketball will not cheer with us during the basketball season, but we still Will you still be a part of outside events and pep rallies like that? So if you're cheering during basketball season, and girls have a basketball game and they say not we're cheering, we don't expect you to cheer with us just because that's exhausting. Talk to athletic coaches and cheer coaches who are really good about communicating with each other. Okay, so tryouts are Saturday, March 21st. Tryouts are going to be at Lone Star High School at 10 a.m. We have the week before, not the week before, but that week, March 16th and March 17th, those are going to be your tryout clinics. Those are super important for you to attend. If you do not attend them, you can't try out. Okay, that's when you're going to learn your dance, your cheer, your chant. And then always remember that I posted the cheer and chant on Friday before spring break. So you have the cheer, chant, dance all the week before, so you can kind of start practicing before we get to the clinic. My idea is, ideally, everyone would know all three things before we even get to the clinic on the 16th. Okay? So candidates will need to stay. For tryouts, candidates will need to stay until all grade levels are done finishing, just in case there's like callbacks or anything like that. We have to bring girls back in. Candidates need to be picked up within 15 minutes of tryouts ending. So at Lone Star High School, they can be called when they are finished cheering. So, like I said, cheer tryout clinic is Monday, March 16th from 4:30 to 6:30. Tuesday the 17th from 4:30 to 6:30 as well. Results will be posted on the Staley Middle School cheer website by Monday the 23rd at 4:30. So, tryout information and clothing. So in groups, cheerleaders will perform a cheer, chant, and a dance. So what happens is those numbers that the girls draw randomly, those will be the people that they kind of go with. So 1 through 3 will go together. 4 through 6 will go together. 7 through 9, so on, so on. So girls will walk in there. There'll be 3 of them. They'll do their jumps separately, and then they'll do their cheer, chant, and dance all together in groups of 3. Okay, so no one's going to go in there. There's no student vote. The only people that are in the room are the judges and Miss Leal, our principal. So those are the only people that are in the gym with them when they are trying out. Clothing for tryouts, this is really important because if you show up wearing the wrong thing, you will not be able to try out. You will need to be in tennis shoes, socks, does not matter the color of the tennis shoes. I wouldn't suggest wearing Vans or Converse. Tennis shoes and socks, shorts, and a plain white t-shirt. It can't be like a tank top, it can't be like a Razorback tank top. It has to be a plain white t-shirt. You can buy a pack of them at Walmart, whatever you want, but that is what the girls need to be wearing. They cannot be wearing a bow, they can't be wearing any jewelry or any big makeup or anything like that. So scores, the top 12 scores in each grade level will make the squad. Tryouts are closed to parents and other spectators. Like I said, the only people that are going to be in the room with the girls trying out are the 3 judges. Those judges are not affiliated with Frisco ISD at all. They are random NCAA judges and Miss Leal. So, like I said, the judges for tryouts are no way affiliated with FISD. They're just random NCAA judges. If a cheerleader moves during the summer before we attend camp, she may be replaced by the candidate with the next highest score. I'm trying to gasp for air. So here's just kind of an example of the judging form. Girls will be judged on their tumbling, their jumps, their cheerleading, their chants, and their dance. The big one is the cheer. That's where you get most of your points from. So, important things, fitting for camp clothes, that'll all be coming later once we have our girls. It's usually, I think we actually have that date, it's like in April, but we'll get that to you once we have everyone that makes the team. So once squads are determined, we will have a parent meeting for new cheerleaders. We will have practices in May for the new squad. We do that just because so the girls can kind of get to know each other, otherwise it's kind of awkward when we all show up at camp and no one knows who each other are. There will be summer practice before camp. So we have Mustang Cheer Camp from July 14th to the 16th. That's from 8 to 12. And then we have Frisco ISD Cheer Camp, and that's the 21st to the 23rd from 8 to 4. So it is a nice long day. Okay, so uniforms, the shell, the skirt, and the pullover are, the shell, the skirt, and the pullover are all owned by Staley Middle Schools in the megaphone, so we kind of like loan those out to you and you bring them back at the end of the year. Cheerleaders only purchase all the other items. So your cheerleading fee to be a cheerleader, you will have to pay $350 if you make it, and that will cover all your camp clothes, your bows, shoes, warm-ups, your bag, your shorts, your palms, that kind of thing. There's other spirit items as well. We have t-shirts, water bottles, maybe available for purchase during the season, but those are all optional things. And then meals for camps and game days are an addition charged, but those are optional as well. So, please read all items in the First ISD Code of Conduct and the Staley Addendum carefully. Participants being fully aware of this commitment is a vital to a successful program. Complete the Google form. You don't have to do that because you weren't here for the meeting. That's okay. Fill out all the documents and try out forms. Try packet by Friday, March 6th by 4 p.m. So if you are in 7th grade and you're trying out for the 8th grade squad, so meaning you're in 7th grade right now, you're going to turn in as me. I'm Miss Eubank, and you'll turn into room 809. If you are in 7th or 6th grade and you're trying out for the 7th grade squad, you're going to turn into Coach Huff, who's not in the frame, and she's in room 808.
I might be. I don't know.
Oh, we don't know. We don't know what's happening. It's sitting on a bench. Okay. I did have some questions at the meeting last night. Do you remember?
Some were asked about the tryout process, kind of a little bit more specifically what that looks like. The biggest thing, the purpose for our mock tryouts is that they are grouped for our mock tryouts at random. And they go in with the same girls that they did their mock tryouts with for the actual tryouts. So they feel a little bit more comfortable if they typically don't feel comfortable performing on their own. The only thing they're doing on their own will be their jumps. Everything else with the same girls that they do that initial mock tryout with. So the edge is kind of knocked off a little bit. Some were concerned about learning the dance and cheer and all that in time. But you get it a week before we even have like our mock tryouts and all. So for the
You'll
most
have
part,
it for a full, almost longer than a full week of
week and a half.
a week and a half of just having the dance, cheer, and the chant. And we're very on top of things when it comes to posting stuff.
it
online.
should be done, like it should be pretty much down before we even get to our
Yes.
clinics. So then that time at our clinics is pretty much spent just working on sharpness and technique, so they can kind of finalize those skills before the tryout.
Like I said, the girls, it'll all be at Lone Star High School, the 21st at 10 a.m. That's really important. Please don't come to Staley. But all the girls will be standing. It'll be 3 girls in a group. 2 if we have like an odd number at the end and there's just 2 girls, but I mean it's the same thing. And we're not ranking the girls. The girls draw out of a hat randomly their numbers for tryouts. So it's nothing. We're not placing anyone or anything like that.
We will be there as early as 9 a.m. On the tryout date, so just ensure that they're prompt and they're on time. If you'd like to drop them off a little bit early, we will be there, so that you may do that. They can begin stretching early if they would like, just to kind of be proactive and ensure that they are there by that 10 o'clock deadline.
Because if you're not there at 10 o'clock, then you will not be eligible to cheer. Alright, well, if you have any questions, you can email us. Mine's Eubank A at Frisco ISD, and hers is Huff B at Frisco ISD, so just, yeah.